So the chain stitch is really gonna be the foundation for a lot of things, especially if you're not doing amigurumi and like working flat. There's the foundational chain, but we're not gonna talk about that right now. Chain is really just, this is how I do it. I grab the yarn up and then I pull the yarn through. And when I have that first knot, I don't count that. That's not a stitch. Then what you want to do to make sure they're like very consistent, your whole hand is set up, always just do it the same. So now I'm doing yarn under. Well, yarn is going over, actually yarn over. So then I just keep doing this, okay? Then once it gets to a point that, you know, the thumb and middle finger can't hold, I move it up. But I make sure that it's all, the V's are always facing me. Just keep going. And you just keep going until whatever the pattern says. So usually once you're done your chain, then you will work in the second stitch from the hook. So this is the first and this is the second. Because you'll see if you work in the first, you're actually just undoing the active yarn, and you just can't do that. I mean, you could, but it's not going to get you anywhere. Then you'll start doing whatever you need to do. So that's the first one. But let's say you're in the middle of something, and like this is my amigurumi, and then it asks for chains. Well, it's the same concept, right? You were in the middle of doing this row. Let's say you had a single crochet. Then it says chain 5. So you just chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then there's usually two scenarios. Either you work back down the chain, or you just like bring it closed and either go into the same stitch or the next one. So the same one and maybe a slip stitch, and then you just have a round of chains there, right? Like let's just say that was what the pattern called for, 5 chains and then slip stitch. You know, did not really go into the next ones. Okay, and then you would have that. That's an example. So that's chaining. Now let's do the example of working down the chain. So let's work a few stitches over. Now I'm going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what's common is you want to make like a petal, like for example. So what you'll do is in the second one, you might do a slip stitch. And then the next one, you want to grow it a little. So the next one up from a slip stitch is a single crochet. And then you do a half double crochet. And the next one. And then the next one you do a double crochet. And this is really common too. And so that's how you get a triangular thing. And then you want to anchor it in place. And you got that. All right, okay, so you have a gap, but this was just an example. And then you can chain again. And then you can work into the next stitches again to make your petals. Okay, kind of lost some yarn there, I had to redo it. So these are not the chains right now. The chain was just to bring me upwards to give me some height. Okay, so I'm just repeating what I was showing you earlier. Right, so sometimes a pattern might call for some petals. And so that's what the chain is, to give you some space and then to work back down.